It was definitely Team Red after Monday night as we see the Red Brand Raw Monday Night Raw defeat Friday Night Smackdown. Now we're going to break down the quarters and see how they done it. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, and I believe it's the first time since SmackDown moved back to the USA Network that Raw has defeated SmackDown in the ratings. And if you look at both shows for over the past 5+ years now, with SmackDown being on Fox and Raw being on the USA Network, how many times has Raw beaten SmackDown in that period of time? Honestly, you're probably talking single digits.
It would easily be single digits.
One hand could count it.
But here,
I mean, I couldn't even tell you if it's one. And technically, you could argue this Raw is up against last week's SmackDown and not this week. So we have to kind of wait and see till this Friday's SmackDown ratings come out. But still, Raw for Monday, October 21st, got a 1.578, whereas we seen SmackDown for the October 18th show got a 1.3. So Raw beating SmackDown by roughly 200,000. That's pretty good considering that SmackDown has been the dominant show, the number one show in terms of the numbers for, like I said, well over 5 years with the Fox deal.
I mean, 200,000 doesn't sound like a lot of people, but when you're in the 1.5 million territory, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, you got 5-6 million people watching, it's not a lot. When you're down into the 1.5 million territory, then 200,000 is actually quite a bit, and the lower that number goes, the more 200,000 people becomes. But yeah, no, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm struggling to think of many Raws that have beat. I think maybe the one after Mania. I think the Raw after Mania defeat, because you had The Rock and Cody Rhodes on it. I'm pretty sure that Raw defeated SmackDown.
No, I think it did, aye.
And
but apart from that, I can't. I mean, unless it's like a holiday edition or something.
But yeah, no, it's pretty strange to actually see Raw with higher numbers. But going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Raw beat SmackDown up until it makes the move to Netflix, because I do think it's the better show. And the fact that it's dropped 1 hour, to me, that's just going to improve the overall number, because like I said, we've seen over the past, I don't know how many years, like 13 years, the final hour of Raw has always been the lowest hour, and therefore that's dragged down the number.
No, of course.
But now it's a 2-hour show going up against a 2-hour show, so...
Yeah, and... I mean, we have buried SmackDown since pretty much Mania.
Yeah.
Not that Raw's been particularly great, but it is consistently the better show.
It is. Anyway, let's get into it then. Quarter 1, 8 o'clock to 8:15. Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Live Angle, Damage Control, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. And this quarter drew 1.674 million, and it was the highest viewed quarter of the show. And it did a 699 in the key demo. So Raw starting off with its highest number. Not normally the case. A lot of the, and I've noticed since Raw now went to 2 hours, I don't think quarter 5 is having as big of an impact as it normally did. Under the 3-hour Raws, a lot of times quarter 5 was the highest rated quarter.
Could that just be a coincidence though? Because I have no idea why people are like, well, you know what? It's moved to 2 hours. That quarter 5 is not going to be as good as what it once was. I don't buy that. I mean, what you could argue,
and it's still in the same time slot.
Most of the Raws under 2 hours haven't had like McIntyre or Punk appearing in quarter 5.
Well, that is true. That is very true. So 1.674 million. Move on to quarter 2, 8:15 to 8:30 p.m. We get the Authors of Pain versus the New Day. Then we get post-match with the Final Testament, The Miz, R-Truth, and the Wyatt Six. And this goes down 3% in viewership to 1.622 million, 52,000 down on quarter 1. Not a massive drop-off from the opener, but I'm surprised it's not dropped a bit more, to be fair, because you've got the Authors of Pain in here. And no, they just bring pain.
They are a ratings killer. No, they suck, man. There's no two ways. I mean, look, everyone in this quarter's way past their sell-by date.
Aye,
it's the has-been quarter.
A has-been quarter. No change on the key demo. We're going to quarter 3. We get Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed backstage angle. We then get a SmackDown recap. We get a GSO backstage promo, and then a Raquel Rodriguez was about to say Ricardo. Raquel Rodriguez backstage promo, and this goes down 4% to 1.558 million. So we go down another 64,000, and it also dropped 6% in the key demo. Bit disappointing considering you had Seth Rollins in here and you had Jey Uso in here, two of the the so-called top guys on Raw, not bringing in top ratings.
No, absolutely not. I mean, down another 4%, which is just. I mean, there's just no draws left in wrestling. There really ain't. It just seems to be quarters that draw.
I'd say so. Quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Damage Control. We get post-match with Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson and Rhea Ripley. This went up 1% to 1.578 million, so up 20,000, but still lost 1% in the key demo. I mean, Liv Morgan, I guess, Rhea Ripley. Some people care about that. Still not a great number.
Still flabbergasted it's went up though, because I mean, Damage Control, normally they don't draw a dime.
No, they don't. And then you've also got Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson in there, but I don't know, maybe people see Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Raquel, and they just get, Judgment Day, I don't know. Judgment Day vibes.
I gotta speak Judgment Day.
Quarter 5, 9 o'clock to 9:15. For the third time this night, we get Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed backstage. Can you actually explain what happened here after I read out the rest of this quarter? We get an NXT video. We get the Viking Raiders, who I thought were already back, but I guess we're just getting more promos for them, vignettes. Judgment Day backstage, and then LWO versus American Made. This went up 2% in the viewership to 1.614 million, which was the third highest viewed quarter of the show, and it went up 8% in the key demo to 705,000. But to me, very interesting that quarter 5, normally the highest rated quarter, is only the third highest rated this week, and was actually lower than quarter 2, which tells you that not many people are dropping off after the opening quarter. You've got a more consistent spread throughout the show.
But if you look at the actual quarter, what took place, I mean, quarter 5 is just what happened in quarter 1. And people that maybe didn't like quarter 1 won't be back for 5. And you're on about what happened. Bronson Reed's flab actually came out in quarter 1, not quarter 5. This was just the match being made official.
So what happened with those two in quarter 3?
In quarter 3?
Because they were in that as well. Backstage angle.
It was like, it was a bit more of a brawl, but quarter 5 was, what do you call him, Pierce making the match official.
What happened with the Viking Raiders? Viking Raiders video, just promoting them for another match.
The Vikings, man, they were swinging after wee boats. And
Eric and Ivar, are they?
Because they're called the Raiders and not the Experience, they're fucking megastars now, apparently.
Just like Butch.
Just like Butch.
Call him Pete Dunne, and all of a sudden he's at a Mania main eventer.
Piper never.
Right, quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30. LWO versus American Made continues. Adam Pearce and Damage Control. Carlito backstage. Braun Breaker backstage promo. This went down 7% to 1.503 million. A loss of 111,000, and also lost 4% in the key demo. Maybe, was this 1,100? Was this 111,000 angry Japanese people tuning out over the Carlito comments, maybe?
I mean, it could have been. Hey, I gotta speak Chinese. People didn't like that. Could have been China. Could have been China, shouldn't it? For a population like 1.5 billion, doubt if you could do with those numbers. Not 1.5 million.
I know. See when Cena learned, what do you call it? Mandarin. I'm surprised they never actually tried to. But even WWE, they never go to China.
No.
Communist shit, maybe not allowed in.
Could be. Cena was allowed in though.
No, you maybe had to. Couldn't see him though.
Couldn't see him.
Right, quarter 7, Gunther, Damian Priest backstage angle, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, down 2% in the viewership and down 4% in the key demo. This brought the viewership to 1.466 million. Another loss here of 37,000. The lowest quarter of the show, the only quarter of the show to go under 1.5 million. And it was the only quarter that featured Gunther. So, I mean, it just doesn't look good for the world champion.
This is your world champ. I mean, seeing I say he was in about a minute here, he was like, he cut like a 5 second promo and Priest interrupted him. After Crown Jewel, I'm coming after you.
I mean, you just couldn't imagine back in the day Austin being in one quarter and that quarter being the lowest of the show.
No, because they don't have a fucking clue what to do with him. It's, Cody Rhodes invited him to Smackdown, so he's just got to show his face on Raw. That's pretty much what happened.
Cody Rhodes invited him to Smackdown to say the same shit they've already said to each other.
What does it mean to you? A fake belt that doesn't matter, dick. In
Right.
Saudi Arabia.
But we're going to quarter 8, and 9:45, 10 p.m, final quarter, final of the show, ending of the show, and we got 10% in viewership to 1.606 million, and up 10% in the key demo. So the key demo was the lowest, the highest, of the night, 709,000. So that is pretty decent that the main event, quarter 8, has delivered the highest key demo. Like I said, 709,000. And the viewership, like I said, went up 10, and that was up 140,000 viewers. So a decent ending there to Raw, a decent main event. We seen a few months ago, from the beginning to the end, Raw was losing about 300, 400,000. Now, from the beginning to the end, they're losing less than 70k this week.
No, absolutely. Could this be down to the Bloodline being out there? So, Bloodline do draw, regardless of who it is.
No, it could be, but it's also, I guess, a big title match. Maybe people felt there was a chance of it, changing hands. But
is Triple H learning something? I've noticed there's been a lot of title matches recently, tag titles. But you know
what?
But you know the way like the US title feels like dog shit compared to the IC.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Is that because Gunther's the champ and everyone's?
I mean, it could be that. But then it's not like I've got any fucking love for Cody Rhodes, to be fair.
Well, let's see what Gunther did, because I'm sure a couple of weeks ago he took on Sami Zayn in the main event for the world title, so we'll compare that. So,
yeah, obviously Gunther did take on Sami Zayn, but I mean, I don't think he'd be anywhere near this number and that. I mean, but I mean, it's a world title.
Oh, should he not be?
Well, he should be, just based off reality. I mean, the world title's more important than the IC title, but as we've been saying pretty much ever since he won it at SummerSlam, the IC title feels the same, or if not more important than the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which just makes his feud against Cody Rhodes even more retarded, considering the fact he's like, here, I'm a more established champion than you.
I'm trying to think when that would have been.
It was a 2-hour one there. So, Gunther, about the same.
About the same. So, a 1.617, and that did a 1.606. So, I mean, 11,000 in it. And that's the world title. You would just expect a world title to draw more.
No, you would.
Interesting.
Of course you would. And there was also Cody Rhodes out there. Did he boost the rate?
Possibly. Anyway, guys, there you go. There's your Raw ratings. Raw defeats SmackDown. Can they keep it up? Who knows? Can NXT keep beating AEW? It's not exactly hard, but we'll keep you updated. NXT quarters coming soon. Until next time.
Shit in the woods.
Yes.